Hello everyone, it's Miss Fortuna here. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell for the next video update. And if you would like to book a reading with me, there's a link down below to book a reading with me. So that's it for the announcement. So the video this time is special for the sensitive out there. I feel like there's a lack of attention to the sensitive out there. So right in front of you, there are 3 cards. So I want you to pay attention to the image that is calling for you. So feel for the image. What is it that is calling for you? So this is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. So whether you are called for the visual, whether you called for the number, so you can pause the video and make your decision. And when you make the decision, just jump right ahead to the timestamp below. So I'll see you at your reading that you choose. Hello. If you're attracted to this card, here is your reading. So with this card, I'm sensing that those of you who are tuned into this pile is someone with fiery emotion. So I think you can easily be triggered and erupt into flames of temper, but you are asked to be reminded that when your emotions erupt, you may not be grounded in the present moment. So your emotional flames may be stoked by past experiences that you are holding onto and projecting onto your present situations. And I'm hearing that you are called to let go of your past experiences. So your old traumas can easily bring you down and blind you. So remember that you do not have to allow these negative experiences to wreak havoc into your emotions, into your life. So you do not have to continue to burden yourself with the weight of the memories and the scars. And just like these wolves here, what it's giving to me is that you are asked to howl your pain and let go of what is troubling you. So be present is what I hear, and create new positive experience with something that give you joy and uplift your spirit to be with your collective. So let's look at the card that I have pulled for you. So right off the bat, we are gonna look at how does your sensitivity look like. And here your sensitivity looks like someone who is good at reading social cues, emotion from other people, detecting micro expressions from others, and basically reading others through with the Two of Cups here. So from the first image, which is this wildfire moon card, so your sensitivity feels like a fire that burns through your body. So you can feel other people's emotions so deeply that you can feel your blood boil when you sense their anger or rage. So because of this, you can easily form bond with others because you can easily understand how other people are feeling, and you can easily make them feel understood. And you have so much higher wisdom when it comes to processing other people's emotions. But I do think you're not very good at managing your own, as I think you are easily affected by emotions of others around you. So your sensitivity work um, is a lot like lunar phases. I think there's ebb and flow, there's up and down on the extreme level that you have to watch over. So I feel like if you have to um, work with your sensitivity and then you find there's a difficulty accepting it, you may have issues surrounding your solar plexus chakra, which is difficulty making decisions, difficulty to own up uh, to your own personal power. So your sensitivity towards emotions of others is actually a gift that you have to claim as your personal power. So if you're resisting this type of sensitivity, it can manifest as blockages in forms of having to work hard without a concrete result. So it would feel very dull and serious for you. And instead of like a summer sun, like this card of sun where it feels like summer all along, um, when you are resisting your sensitivity, it feels like a cold winter season of your life. So having to be serious is also a must that you have to put up if you are to resist this kind of sensitivity around others. And I do sense that you have to end up being a chameleon who change colors every single time you are surrounding people. And if you're not always changing your skin around others, I think you would choose a role, an intimidating one, like Eight of Pentacles here, where you are focusing on your stuff, not allowing others to disturb you so that you will not be able to absorb their emotions easily, and you might have to do this in order to protect yourself from subconsciously absorbing their emotions that do not belong to you. So if you are resisting this sensitivity, it might cause you difficulty to focus on the right things in your life. So it might feel like everything will keep going on a wrong direction in your life. Now we are getting to the heart of the reading, which is understanding why you are given this sensitivity, where the sun card can represent many things. The sun is so bright that illuminates the whole world. So the reason that you are given this sensitivity is to enlighten others with new found knowledge, with new found wisdom. So as someone who is ruled by the fire element, the sun is also a hot, fiery card. So it implies that you are such a fiery, passionate person that this kind of sensitivity is asking you to work on your heart chakra. So with balanced heart chakra, you will be able to feel empathy for others and possess a capacity for unconditional love. So a balanced heart chakra will also possess uh, a profound connection to joy and feeling this sort of belonging to the world around them. And you can tell that your heart chakra is active if you can feel warm, lightness, and vibrating energy at the center of your chest. So since Bastet also rule the sun card in this deck, she is a warrior goddess of the sun, but she is also worshipped as goddess of pleasure, music, and dance. So I do see that you need to tap into the flow of music to be able to embody the joy of movement. So the purpose of this kind of sensitivity, when you are able to tap into the emotions of others, is to allow yourself to be among the crowd with an open heart, to run around the sunflower field again like a child, just like in a sun cart. I do see that the mission that you are tasked to use your sensitivity is geared towards gatherings and community. So, regardless whether you are using your sensitivity for spirituality or not, you have to use it towards your own community. And I also see that you're someone who would find joy working with other people. So, finding your way back to community to be service of them would be an act of celebrating your nature. So since community is an integral part of you, you are asked to learn how to clear negative energy and energy that does not belong to you from your system. And I'm also hearing that some of you will get some sort of calling to use your sensitivity to be a master of ceremony where you host energy clearing session, breathwork session, or even energy workshop. So some of you may even be called to trace your ancestry down your roots to sow the seeds of new future for the new generation. And for some of you, I'm hearing that you will work with community to share your wisdom and downloads that you got. So regardless of how it pans out to some of you, you are meant to lead others out of dark places to find the end of a tunnel. So your existence is like the sun that illuminates the room. So don't be shy to share that gift with others. So, while some of you may only consider yourself as highly sensitive or an empath, I do see that an area that this sensitivity will help you is in working with the dead, with the hermit card here. So, you have a huge potential to tap into necromancy, working with your ancestors, and being a medium. In fact, I think you may not realize that your sensitivity has been supported by your ancestors who are present with you. So they have been the one protecting you from a lot of harm. They have been communicating with you indirectly. And while typical hermit card represents retreating into solitude to get higher wisdom. In this deck, it represents working with the dead, specifically with the dead, to get higher wisdom. So I see like there's some sort of calling here to either work with your ancestors or to accept the calling to be a medium. So you may find that the middle spot between your brows have been tingling, as that is where the third eye chakra is situated. So you might be wondering why you are being called to this kind of work. So the reason you are being called to this kind of work is to help you manifest the life that you desire, as well as help you decide the kind of direction in your life. So you're sensitive from being someone who are able to be a mediator with other people will help you to be a negotiator with spirits, and especially a skilled medium. That's what I see. Now let's ask from your spirit guides what kind of spiritual practices that you can get to improve your sensitivity, to harness your sensitivity. Let's get into practices that you can use to improve your sensitivity or use your sensitivity as a gift. So what does pile one need to practice or get into to harness their sensitivity as a gift? So remember that this is just a suggestion. Remember that this is just a suggestion. I'm not trying to push you into doing things that you are not comfortable with. Basically, remember that spiritual practices is based on your comfort and what you are exposed to, basically your culture. So we got the Ayurvedic system. What is your earliest memory? Mutable sign in astrology, night mantra, claircognizant. So you are asked to tap into the Ayurvedic system. So basically, this kind of system is traced back to Indian or Hindu religion. So this is basically not something I'm familiar with, but it could be something that you could tap into. And then you're asked to tap into your earliest memory of encountering magic in your life. So that's probably something about understanding what form your understanding of magic and how does that influence your relationship with magic. And the mutable sign in astrology is reminding me that you might have to be flexible when you are practicing. When it comes to your sensitivity, you might have to be a lot more flexible with your environment and your energy. And the night mantra for me is for you having to be able to have some sort of protective mantra, especially during the night, to understand that magic is everywhere. And especially when you want to harness your sensitivity in a way that you interact with the energies around you, I think you have to understand how your sensitivities act up, especially during at night, and then have a special mantra during the night where your sensitivities might be more amped up, might be more heightened during the night. And the claircognizant is something I'm hearing that you have to work more. So with Two of Cups, I'm hearing that you might have your clairsentience already established, but the claircognizant, the ability to recognize patterns, is probably something that you have to work more. The clear knowing, the ability to trust in the downloads that you receive. So you might have to trust in the knowledge, in the information that you receive without having the evidence, to back up what you know. So these are what you are asked to tap into to harness your sensitivity as a gift. So these are just suggestions. These are not what you have to do. But I would suggest you to explore more, to harness your sensitivity, to use it to your own advantage. These are just the way you can harness it as a gift. So that's it, your reading part one. Tell me, how do you like your reading in the comment? I would love to know. Thank you for being here. See ya. Hello, welcome Paul 2. If you are attracted to this image, this reading is for you. So the message from this card is a powerful one as you have come to this place of prosperity and empowerment. So I'm seeing that you have healed a lot of issues that once have held you back, and you are now manifesting many blessings that are coming through you. But for these blessings to be truly claimed, you are asked to do the work to show up in public and share them. So share your gift with the public is what I'm hearing, dear Palwan. Give yourself back to your community. The sky have blessed you with enlightenment to move forward in your life. And it is important that you give back to your tribe, to share your essence and your gift with those who deserve your support. So your attention and your service will lift their souls and warm their hearts. And a part of your soul has been wanting for this, has been waiting and wanting, craving for this moment to share your gift, to show up with your empowered self. And for me, that is the definition of success. So now let's look at the cards that I have pulled for you. So right off the bat, we have Page of Swords for you. As for how does your sensitivity looks like, so for you, Pal 2, your sensitivity looks like someone who is open and easily receive information easily from their surrounding. And I do think that this is unique because you see the sensation surrounding you as data, as logistic, because you may not realize it that you are unconsciously scanning your environment and registering whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you smell. And these information, you input them into your mind instead of your heart. So it's sort of like makes you someone who is inquisitive, someone who is curious of their surrounding, eager to understand what is happening to your surrounding, to others, to the world, and to the experiences around you. And then I see that your experiences shape you, including your past experiences, sort of putting you in this hero journey who is learning your way to navigate the world with tact, with boundaries, and with grace. And I see that even if you have faced many adversities, it doesn't reduce your sensitive mind to learn new things. It doesn't reduce um your mind to input new ideas and to stand firm on your ground. But I also see that having this kind of sensitivity where your mind is quick to register new information, scanning your environment, will make it prone for you to fall into analysis paralysis, where you are stuck overthinking, that you could probably be easy rewinding past situation, replaying whatever unfavorable for you. So I do see that it's pretty clear that with Three of Swords, that the kind of blockage that will manifest when you resist this kind of sensitivities, that it will bring you some kind of heartaches. And I think it may pain you when you find some sort of realization, when you discover unfavorable truth from others. I do think like it's sort of like it comes with inquisitive mind where learning about others give you pain, and it makes you feel confused of other people's true faces when you are spending time around them. And mutual relationships, be it with significant others, colleagues, or friends, could be feel like climbing a mountain to you when you are resisting this sensitivity. But number three also deals with expansion. So when your heart breaks open, I think you have to allow it to happen to make room for new things to come in. And you see, there's rain in this card. It's raining and there's pool of water in this Three of Swords. So while some people see rain as hindrance, it is also a card of abundance. So what will grow from, I mean, what I want to say is that from the bare land, it will grow into a lush land. So if you are currently resisting your sensitive mind, I do think you have to be open to the way that your world will be shifted and changed. And the Three of Swords as blockages also acts as clearing all of your pent up emotions in you. So you are asked to release all of your negative emotions. You are asked to sit in this process and allow your body to work its wonder. Next, the reason that you are given this sensitivity is interesting because I see the death card in this deck like some sort of portal. So your sensitivity will push you to get used to the energy of two states, which is clear consciousness and altered consciousness. So what I mean is eventually the purpose you are given this kind of sensitive mind is to be able to kind of distinguish between the different types of realities that exist out there, as there are spirit guides and ancestors guiding this portal here. You will be able to access this kind of portal with the power of your mind through the different states of consciousness. Death, and I mean figuratively, shedding your identity, losing yourself will be something that you have to keep going through in order to prepare you for this kind of work. And I do feel like with this person here is actually Baba Yaga sitting on this crown chakra. I hear as something that is very integral of you. Your crown chakra may be active or overwhelmed depending on how you are managing yourself. But in order for you to be able to walk through these portals between realms of humans and spirits, I do see the need to work on your concentration and focus. So when your mind can focus and become balanced, that is when your sensitivity becomes a power. Next, you are tasked with this sensitivity to use it towards unions of self, especially in making cohesive decisions for yourself. So the lovers in this deck is also interesting because it mentions the backstory of witches working with fae. So I feel like the message here is very important. I think it is a calling to some of you who might be working with fae, because I don't usually work with fae. So I think this is a special shout out to those of you who work with fae spirit. I think fae spirit especially show themselves up in this reading to make themselves known, that they are here, that they want to work with you, and it is one of your calling to use your sensitivity to work with them. So make do with this information with however you like. And then your mission with your sensitivity is to use it towards unification of masculine and feminine energy to actually be whole within yourself. So it's not about just being divine masculine. It's not just about being divine feminine. It's about being both divine masculine and being both divine masculine. It's about being divine unity within yourself. So this sensitivity is asking you to celebrate the duality in life with open heart, as well as being open to how timeline can shift anytime you're asking for opportunity to be presented to you. So I do see that because this is a major arcana, so your sensitivity seems to be geared to a bigger purpose of working with higher beings, angels, spirit guides, and ancestors. And since this card, the lovers are running towards a snake, the snake is also the card of transformation, and death is also the card of transformation. So I'll see like this is a repeating confirmation that your work, your mission is also geared towards transforming yourself. Um, it's towards working toward changing yourself for something better. Lastly, the area of your life that your sensitivity is helping you is through finding your voice with the Seven of Wands here. So I do see that you might be having difficulty voicing your opinion. You might tend to be stuck in your mind a lot. But with a sensitive mind, you might have a different way of looking at things. You might have a different way of approaching perspective. So that gives you a lot of values to assert your own freedom and be confident with how you navigate yourself in public. So I think for someone who tend to take everything in, you are asked to build barriers to protect yourself and defend your value. So I do see that while having this kind of sensitivity makes it easier for you to be entangled with other people, because you are actually someone who value everyone's opinions. I think you are also learning not to put people onto pedestal, and you are learning to treat everyone equally on the same footing ground. So your sensitive mind, if you realize well, will help you to give values to others by celebrating differences, by honoring boundaries, by helping others see the options that they do not even know exist and even possible before. But this work will only possible if you believe in a value that you assert. Now, let's look at the kind of practices that you can get into to work on your sensitivity. So let's ask spirit guides, what can Pal 2 get into to harness their sensitivity? I'm just gonna shuffle for a few times and then we'll see. So basically, these is just suggestions. It's not a must that you have to do these things, because spiritual practices are supposed to be tailored to your cultural practices. It's supposed to be tailored to your personal experience. It's supposed to be tailored for your own discernment. And basically, you have to do your own research to what kind of spiritual practices that will work for you. Again, a lot of astrology. Okay, so Aries, Libra, Pisces. So some of you might probably be Aries, Libra, Pisces in this reading, but if you're not, that's fine. But what I'm seeing from this intersection is that what they share is Aries is Mars energy, Libra is Venus energy, Pisces is Jupiter energy. So Aries is about drive, ambition. So it's about getting into that assertiveness, competition, ambition. It's about going after what works for you, going after what motivates you. So basically, go towards your special interests, go towards your hobbies, your interests. And I do have to mention before I forget that a lot of these things pointing to astrology, I do feel that some of you do need to tap into astrology and learn what all of these terms in astrology mean. And it might be helpful for you to learn how does your transit applies to you, how does Saturn transit will apply to your natal chart. So learning astrology will be really helpful to those of you in PAL 2. And for me, this mutable sign astrology is asking you to be flexible in your practices. It's asking you to be more changeable, not changeable to the point that you are easily influenced, more that you allow that your method to change over the time, as long as you stick to your values firmly. And then for Libra, I do see that you have to infuse art and beauty into your practices to enhance your sensitivity. And then learn the myth is about reading from the mythology in your culture. So maybe you are learning about cartomancy, maybe you are learning about tarot, maybe you are learning about dice divination. You do have to look into the myth, the culture of behind a certain divination system. That's what you are asked to tap into when you are trying to harness your sensitivity. You gotta learn to connect the culture, how you connect your love towards information to learning about culture here. And then with Pisces here, I do sense that with the Pisces being ruled by Jupiter, you have to make sure that your practice have meaning, that your pursuit of your pursuit of spirituality actually empower you, actually fulfill you, and actually feels otherworldly. Otherwise, it would just feels very empty work. Otherwise, it would feel just another fad, another trend, another sensational, um, another sensation that you are chasing. So make sure that the practices that you are going after is not something that you are just going into because it's famous. Make sure that it has meaning to you. Make sure that it actually helps you to move forward and makes you tap into your emotions and be more vulnerable with yourself. So I think that's it for you, Pal 2. Please let me know how you resonate with this reading. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello, welcome, Pal 3. If you are attracted to this image, this reading is for you. So just from this image of this card alone, I can sense that you are someone visionary. Here, the message for you is you are being asked to trust in your visions and aspirations, no matter how ridiculous it may seem to you, no matter how it doesn't make sense to you. Your aspirations and your visions are a gift to your tribe. As you achieve and expand your vision to align with what you want to achieve in your life, you are not just living for yourself, but you are giving permission to others to achieve in this way too and expand their reality constructs as you do. So remember that your evolution inspires evolution of others. But you can only achieve greater things when you're 100% authentic and remain true to your vision. I'm hearing the need for you to be in total alignment with your own unique mission to assess your own success. So step into your own purpose and allow it to take it to greater heights. So do not compromise the integrity of your vision. Stay true to yourself in every step of the way and allow those steps to lead you to new possibilities. So let's look at the card that I have pulled for you. So first off, we're gonna look at how does your sensitivity look like. And from the first card, this card here, and also this card, I'm getting that you are very connected to the land, to the nature. And even the hangman in this deck is attributed to the storyline of Lunotar, a daughter of nature who brought the birth of the world in Finnish mythology. So As someone who have a strong connection to the nature, to the land, to the sea, to the wave, and even to the animals, unlike Paltu, you paltry your sensitivity to your surrounding brings some sort of pauses, some sort of meditative state, some sort of a state of waiting and spiritual searching that will push you to observe life in different way. So I feel that your sensitivity to nature that surrounds you has pushed you to be present in the moment, allowing life to take you as it is as you engage in creative process of deconstructing your viewpoint. I do find that this image finally describes how visionary you are, because this way you have to work hard on translating the way that you view life into art, into poetry, and even music. And I do feel like the aliveness of the wave in the behind keeps you entertained, and you use this kind of and use your sensitivity towards these little details in the nature to fuel your work in creative process. So here we're looking at the kind of blockages that may play out when you resist this kind of sensitivity. So if the hangman is surrounded by the water, by the sea, the ocean, which is at your best, the vast resources of your intuitive energy, I think when you are resisting, there will be a lot of fire energy burning through you that it can hinder your vision. So, as King of Wands deal with creative leadership, in this deck, the King of Wands also have the power to destroy what he can create. So for you, you may have so much anger and temper rising up your temperature that you have no idea how to channel them, that you are at risk of burning out and burning down your life if it's not properly managed. And I do feel like the fire here and the sun here, um, it's reminding me of how you cannot directly stare at the sun as it will blind your vision. So it's giving that is the same case as working with your sensitivity, since um, working with your fire means that you have to manage your creativity wisely, as your fire is something that you really have to be careful about. So I do see that forcing your fire will also not work, as you do your best in your best environment, your best element, which is the land and nature. So while you may find yourself easily touched or inspired by nature, you have to embrace your sensitivity to sharpen your senses. So, moving on to the heart of the reading, which is understanding the reason you are given this kind of sensitivity as a gift, is the Fool card here. So, while it doesn't really make sense to feel so sensitive to the nature and your surrounding, the reason you're given this sensitivity as a gift is to reignite your innocence and your imagination in the world. So The backstory of this card in a deck is that it is dedicated to William Butler Yeats' neighbor, who was a quirky elder woman living her life to her own terms. So the portrayal of this elderly woman is a reminder to you to give in to your whimsy and to live out of your inner child. So if your sensitivity to nature is asking you to stand on top of the barrel to experience that point of view, then, just go ahead and humor that thought. So you have nothing to lose entertaining your inner child here. So the purpose of your sensitivity to nature is to help you explore your sense of wonder and the potential to begin again and again. So I feel like the truth here is only your authenticity in experiencing your life would matter here. Nothing else matter. Only your authenticity in experiencing your life would matter here. And that's what makes you greater at expressing yourself creatively through art, through poetry, through music, and hiding yourself behind a mask, behind a mask here. Making yourself small, looking down on your experience, will only dull your sensitivity. So the mission that you are given this kind of sensitivity is to use it as a gift towards your past self. So I see the Six of Cups here as building an archive of your life, from the good and even to the bad. So your sensitivity to nature and your surrounding is meant to be translated into memories, into yearning, into hopes. And I see that it is not just a gift to your past self, but it also acts as a preservation with other people in your community, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family. And I would like to point a different kind of view than pile 2, because for you, instead of seeing the world with duality senses of black and white, I think your mission is to paint it in a non-binary way. Some would call it in a non-binary way, but that would imply that the gray area is non-binary. But you get what I mean. You do have to paint the world in a different kind of way. So while some would say that the past is better to be let go of, I would suggest that in your case, the past is meant to be preserved. So there is something with how you approach your visionary work, whether you're doing art, poetry, music, with history, with archival. So using your imagination and creativity, I think you will make it your mission to combine this as your drive to make your sensitivity as a gift. So I see that the area that your sensitivity is helping you is multifaceted, because we have the world card here and the backstory of the character here is Siwangmu, is a queen mother of the West who evolved from a terrifying plague goddess into a benevolent deity of immortality and power. So, taking from this card of the world, the story of Siwang Mu is about using your sensitivity towards the pursuit of spirituality instead of superficial power. So I feel like the lesson from this backstory is the story of transformation. It is a story where you transform yourself from being a plague demon into a goddess of enlightenment through self reflection. And Her story is also about the balance of yin and yang, which is the balance of opposites between life versus death, the active versus passive. So, alternately, the world card is also the card of beginning, but it's a bit different than the full card here because it's the beginning card because you begin after completing a cycle in your life. So I do see that your kind of sensitivity helps you in a way that it brings you closure to many chapters in your life, while at the same time help you find your place in this world. So as long as you utilize your sensitivity towards self-reflection, observing your surrounding and cultivating your freedom, you will be able to claim this as a gift. Now let's ask your spirit guides what kind of practice you are advised to get into to harness your sensitivity. And remember that these are just suggestions. Remember that spiritual practices are personal. It's supposed to be curated based on your cultural practices. It's supposed to be curated based on your discernment. And yeah, these are just suggestions. Okay. So what I'm sensing here is you have the card Alchemy, Unleash Your Senses, Claircognizant, Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, and Taurus. So I do see that what you need to get into is the alchemy work is what it says here is to separate, purify, bring it all back together. But what I would briefly simplify to you, alchemy is a process of you transforming something into something new for yourself that will be beneficial for you. That is alchemy work in a sense of spirituality, in a brief sense that I could explain that would make sense. But this is in a scientific way, separate, purify, bring it all back together. So you can approach it in a scientific way or in a psychological way or in a spiritual way. Whatever that will work for you, you can approach alchemy work in however you like. And then I do see that with Unleash Your Senses, you are asked to observe the night's landscape without judgment, noticing what you see and what you don't, and you are asked to see what stands out to you. And then I think what you are asked here is to train your senses at night. You are asked to train your senses in the darkness and then see how does your senses act during the night. This is simply the kind of training to see what catch your attention, whether your fear is the one that acts up at night, whether you pay attention to your hearing, whether you pay attention to your eyes, your visual, whether you pay attention to your sense of smell. So that will be able to help you distinguish which one of your senses is heightened when you are in darkness. So claircognizant, I feel like with you, you have clear knowing, but you may not able to realize this, because it might be something that you are intuiting naturally. It might be something that you do so naturally at your visionary work. You have so much download that you might not be able to distinguish. But I feel like when you are a visionary, you are pretty much have your claircognizance strengthened. It's just you need to work more on distinguishing whether a download is from spirit guides or whether is an inspirational download and that kind of stuff. And then I do feel like this Maslow's hierarchy of needs is about you looking at taking yourself further towards the next step. Are you at your physiological stage? Are you at safety net? Are you at love belonging stage? Are you at self-actualization stage? So these are what you can explore, especially when you are creating your art, especially when you are creating your vision. So what are the impact that you want to achieve when you are trying to produce your work? So these are the pyramid that you can explore. And I do feel like with Taurus, you might be someone who cares about security, sensuality, love of functional beauty, stubborn and be stubborn a lot. I do see that there's the need to focus on your safety and comfort. And I do feel like paired with Maslow hierarchy of needs, you sort of like need to focus on creating a safe space for you to practice to enhance your sensitivity. It's sort of like you need to find a safe space within your body to allow your sensitivity to be more accepted, to find a way to allow it to come out to play. That's how it feels from this Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Taurus card. So I think that's it for you, Paltry. But basically, I'm gonna remind you for the last time that these are just suggestion of practices that you can get into to enhance your practices. You are not under influence to do any of this if you're not comfortable of practicing spirituality. But if you are here in a tarot reading, I'm sure that you are at least into spirituality. But do use your discernment, do your own research, and do your own reading. So I hope this reading resonate with you. I'll see you in a next video. Bye.